Your event is starting. So we should be live right now, and I'm really excited. What's up, everyone? Thank you for joining me on today's live stream. I finally have a setup that I really enjoy and love. As you know, I've done live streams in the past, and I've just been very annoyed at being limited to my microphone, and I couldn't work around. And now that I'm downstairs in my basement, I had this widescreen. So I finally fixed everything and got it working to how I want. I have this little movable monitor right in front of me, so I can show you a screen that's exactly 1080p, and I can easily switch between the two using my top monitor. So I'm also using this Tascam here to use my lavalier mic up here, and I got headphones so I can hear everything going on. So here's what's going on. I want to start doing these live streams where it's like a tutorial on what or how to do something. So this, for example, today is going to be a tutorial on how to edit like Nolan Omura. And I saw his pictures a while ago and they're beautiful. Like he's mainly known for his underwater photography, and he always has this similar look. And that look is of this very, I want to say, how do you describe it? It's dark at the top and it's really light and desaturated at the bottom. And I was curious. I could never find anything on it. And so I was scrolling through his pictures, and luckily he posted a before and after. And I saw this picture and I was like, I want to know how to edit that, but there was no other picture. And I kept scrolling, and let's see. We got down to this picture down here because he posted it again. I don't know where it is. It might be far. So he posted this picture. I saw he posted it twice, and check it out. He did a before and after. So this is the picture of what it looks like when he edited it, or when he took the picture, and then this is what it looks like when he edited it. So in my head, I was like, how do we do this? I want to learn from the best. So this is what today's tutorial is going to be about. Also, let me know in the chat what the audio sounds like, everything like that, because I'm trying to make this the highest quality stream I possibly can. I just upgraded my internet, so we shouldn't run into any issues, but let me know in the chat if everything checks out to be good. All right, so let's jump on into Lightroom. This is what we're going to be working with, and all I did was took a screenshot of that Instagram. I didn't take this picture. Again, this picture is from Nolan himself. He's a fantastic photographer. Check out his Instagram. But I just downloaded the stuff because I wanted to learn how to edit. And Lightroom has this nice feature where you can set a target image or a reference image by clicking this button right here. You hit T on the keyboard, that'll bring up the toolbar, and you hit that reference image. And then all you have to do is drag and drop a photo from the film strip, which is down here, to set it as a reference image. So I've already cropped these images to remove all the other stuff out, but this is kind of what we're going to be working with. This is his image, and this is the image that has not been edited before. Quickly, I'm going to jump over to chat while some other people are flowing in here. Duncan was literally looking at photos today and wondering how he edits. Well, awesome, Duncan. Hopefully you're going to learn something today. Shazzer said, thanks for the LUTs. Thank you so much for checking them out. I'm going to be releasing something soon. Hopefully, maybe I'll do like an Instagram LUT pack with all of these LUTs. Everyone else said, I am first from Algeria. What's up, Indonesia? Brendan, just let me know. I'm very excited to learn editing from you. I'm so excited to do this. Cool sound. Audio's good. Good quality sound. Awesome, guys. So this thing also has the ability to do this stuff.
So if you ever make me mad, I can like change my voice. Today we're gonna learn how to edit like Nolan.
I'm just kidding. I'll never probably use that. And it has this ability to do like applause, I think, but I don't know how to do it. So let's get started and have some fun with this. So the first thing we want to do, what's up from Ukraine? How's everyone going? We have 72 people in here. That's a lot. So let's get started. So in Lightroom, as I explained, I'm in the reference view and I'm in the develop tab. Over on the right-hand side, we have a bunch of options that we can use to manipulate our photos and just drag stuff around. Basically, Lightroom is a powerful software. If you haven't even used it, stick around because you're going to learn something. I'll probably go over the basics. So what we want to do is mimic this background blue. As you can see, our blues aren't really matching at all. So what I'm going to do, sometimes I like to zoom in to see the overall look, but this is like a middle ground blue. So what we're going to do is start to drag our tint to the right because it's really green right now. So let's add some magenta in there. And as you'll see, we're starting to get a deeper blue. And we just kind of want like a natural blue. Excuse me. because we're trying to match these as best as possible. And then from here, I'm noticing also that it looks like, if you look in here, that this is kind of very contrasty, or there's a lot of clarity. So we're going to bring that in later, but for right now, we can start to increase the contrast a little bit, and you'll see we're starting to get more definition in the girl right here, which I believe maybe his girlfriend. I think, I don't know a lot about them, but if he's ever watching this video, you guys are cute and I love your aesthetic of pictures. So from here, we're getting some contrast in the legs area. So let's add some more contrast in there. That looks good. And then from here, let's start to play with our temperature. And the best way to learn how to edit like someone is to honestly just click and drag around until you get something that works, right? So I'm going to play with the warmth. I'm going to drag it to the right a little bit more. There we go. That looks good. And I'm going to keep dragging the tint to the right. So once we get something where we like, where we isolate the body from the water, that looks good, I can start to change the hue of my water. So I'm going to scroll down here into the HSL and color tab and click this adjust hue by dragging the photo button. What this does, this will allow us to click any color in our photo and start to drag around the image to change the hue of what that looks like. So in essence, you can change the color of anything to get an awesome look, right? So we're going to click the water right here in this area. And to zoom in and out, I'm holding space and it brings up the zoom tool. And I'm just going to click an area and start dragging around and see what happens. So if we drag down, you'll see we create this little, it becomes green. And we don't want green. We want that blue, deep blue look. And so I'm going to drag up, and as you'll see, we're starting to get more of that deep blue look. Notice how we're not changing the color of our female in the picture. So this looks good. Keep playing around with that. And let's go down to the luminance. Luminance will control the brightness of your highs and lows. So let's just click anywhere out here and start dragging the luminance up and see what happens. All right, so we're getting some color in here. That looks good. And this is where the magic happens. Right away, I looked at this picture and I was like, there's no way this is like taken directly from the photo, because it's so dark up here at the top, and then down here it's really bright and vibrant. So I was like, there has to be a way to do this. So in Lightroom, they have this gradient feature that's really, really awesome. So if you click this graduated filter up here and just click it, if you click and drag, watch what happens. It creates a gradient, and this gradient you can click and drag around and it just goes anywhere. So once you deselect it, you can move it by this center area. You can also adjust the rotation by the middle line, and that will also help you manipulate the photo. And by clicking these end lines, you can change the length of this rotation. So using this tool, I was like, if you use two of them, you can create a darker gradient up at the top and a lighter gradient at the bottom. So we're going to click that tool and just click and drag, and I want it to be very far, so because I want it to be faded. So I'm going to drag this up to the top area, and what you can do is you can start changing these parameters over here and you'll get an interesting look. So for example, I'm just going to drag my exposure to the left till it looks something like I like. And I'm going to drag this up. That looks good because I really just want it to be affecting the top portion of my image. That looks good. Drag that down, something like that. So also you can play around with this gradient, and let's maybe decrease the saturation a little bit. So if I decrease the saturation all the way, you'll see that we're starting to get darker blacks up here. So I'm just going to go probably about -20. So that looks good. Let's look at the overall picture. Nice. So we're going to do the exact same process on the bottom portion of the picture. Click our gradient tool and then just click and drag again. And we want it to be a nice little gradient like this, and drag that down. So once we get that to here, let's start manipulating this, and I think I can drag that down a little bit more. That looks good. It's way too overexposed. So we're going to reset our exposure and start dragging this up a little bit. One thing I want you to pay attention to is her hand right here. Since the gradient is an overlay over the entire image, we're gonna have to mask her out. And there's multiple steps on doing this. You could either export this photo and completely erase her in Photoshop, but for the sake of this tutorial and the time that we have together today, I'm not gonna go into that much detail because I don't think you need to get the overall effect. So we're gonna keep dragging this exposure up a little bit till I get somewhere that I think looks good. That we're starting to get that color that matches, and that's really nice. That's ultimately what we're trying to do. And I'm going to change it around a little bit. And we're also going to play around with the saturation. So if I bring the saturation down just a tiny bit, you'll see that I'm starting to get this color. So overall, right now, if you look at this image, they're very similar. And just like that, we have created this image, but we're not done. So I want you to look at this right here. If I go to the single image, this is the image we're starting to edit with. Oh, nope, that's his image. So this is the image that we're starting to edit with, and you can see a before and after of where we've come so far. In just a simple, I don't even know how long we've been streaming for, a little bit. Yeah, we've been streaming for a little bit. So this is the before and after, and already this looks like something you could totally post to Instagram. But I'm gonna show you a couple other tips that I think we can do to embellish this photo a lot more. So coming into our photo, let's go back to this reference view, and I got to make sure that it's so complicated because they're already looking similar that like I have to make sure I'm with the original photo. So yeah, this is the photo that I was manipulating, right? Yes, that's funny. They look so good. So we're gonna come in here and we need to create some more detail. So as you see, look at this detail right here. The shadows are really dark, and then my shadows aren't that dark at all. So that tells me a couple things. One, that there's more contrast in his image than ours currently. And two, I need to either create a brush or something that I can map this floor to make it more contrasty. So I'm just going to drag a brush tool and start painting around a little bit down here to see what I can do. So I'm going to reset the exposure by double clicking. That'll set everything to the center. And then I'm going to start dragging stuff around to see what happens. If I drag my contrast to the right, it doesn't really do anything. If I drag it to the left, okay, it just doesn't do much either. So I'm thinking we need to do something with the shadows and highlights. So if I drag my shadows to the left and my highlights to the right, okay, we're starting to get a little more detail, but not as much as I would like. So let's drag the blacks down and see what happens, and the white up. All right, so we're getting a little bit more. It's almost like bringing a color in. So that leads me to believe that he's using something with the clarity. So I'm going to increase my contrast a little bit, bring my blacks back up, and just start increasing the clarity. Boom, that was it. So as you just saw, increasing the clarity, I'm getting more detail in my blacks right here, but I'm going to bring my highlights down and see what that does, and my whites down a tiny bit, increase the contrast, and lower the exposure just a tiny bit. All right, so zooming out, you can see that area. This area down here has more detail, definitely. So I can start to paint around now, and check it out. I can just paint in detail wherever I need it. And I won't typically go up here because when you get in the darker areas, you can see what it does. It doesn't look good. So I'm just gonna paint in my detail in my highlights right here, and you can use the brush tool to do a lot of things in Lightroom. So that looks good. Let's zoom out on both of these and see what we're looking at. Right away, this is awesome, but let's look at the skin real quick. So looking at the skin, you can see that we have two different tones, and this is where it completely comes up to what you want to do. So let's focus in on this color and see what's going on. This is like a magenta. It looks like a tint to it, and maybe a little bit more warmth. So if on our photo we start dragging around our tint, oh, we're still on a brush mode. So select the brush to deselect that, and now we can start playing with the skin. But if I start dragging my tint around, it's going to manipulate my entire image, and I don't want that. So let's create another brush by selecting the brush tool and start painting on the skin. So if I just go like this, click and drag, you'll see that our exposure is currently set to high. So I can kind of see where I'm painting at. And you can be really correct and fine with this painting tool. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to show you a quick little technique that I'm using. So now that we've painted the skin, let's reset the exposure, and you can also use the color down here to see where you painted by selecting that area, but I don't really like using the color too often. Okay, so from here, let's start dragging the warmth to the right. As you can see, we're starting to get a more warm skin tone, and then let's start dragging the tint a little bit to the right. Right away, you can see that we're pretty much getting that color that we need. It's just manipulating these parameters with the warmth and the tint. I think that looks pretty good. It looks like he's got a little more highlights in here, so we can go in and increase the highlights up a little bit. As you can see, that's bringing it up. Let's increase the exposure a tiny bit. All right, so let's look at these side by side, and honestly, these pictures are pretty similar. So to show you an example, this is the effect. Like this, we just did it in a short amount of time. So if you want, I'm going to stay around for another about 10 more minutes to go over some ideas that I have, but these videos I think would be awesome because I want to learn how people edit pictures, and the best way to learn is reference images. And you can use this technique to see how people do this stuff, and you can constantly reference other parts of your image to get a better looking theme in your photography, or just to understand how to edit, because I really like that. But overall, my goal is to learn how people edit and then create presets. So what I can do now is on my picture, I can go over here to the Lightroom tab, select this area and click create a preset. So using this preset, I can pretty much select the graduated filters that I just created. I can do all the other stuff like clarity. I did some sharpening. We didn't do much sharpening, but I can add that in a little bit. And then I can just name this like Nolan Omura and then click create. So now, like, for example, if I just imported, I don't even know which one's my photo. So here's my photo. So I'm gonna go back to the very beginning. That was the image we started with. So for example, if I am just, let me get out of reference view, single photo. So for example, if you're editing and you took a bunch of pictures underwater, I could just go like this and go to my preset and go down here and find the one that I just made, which is Nolan Omura, click on it, and boom, just like that, you are done. So this is what I want to do. So if you guys want this preset, or if you want this stylized look, let me know and I will upload this and drop it in the description or the comments once this video gets published on my channel. So let me know in the comments, and that's awesome. But for now, I'm going to read some of your questions or chats, and then I will go over a few more details that we can to increase the quality of our image. So I'm going to undo a little bit just so I have my settings back to normal. I can't even tell which photo I started to manipulate. All right, here we go. This looks like it. No, is that it? Yeah. Yeah, here we go. So we're back on the photo. But, all right, let me read you guys' comments. Will you upload this on YouTube? Yes, I'm going to be uploading this to YouTube because typically when I do a live stream, it'll automatically publish to YouTube. And let's start reading some other ones. Andrea said, hello from Venice, Spain, or Valencia, Spain. Spain is awesome. I want to go there so much. Hey from Turkey. How's it going, everyone? Aiz, I cannot pronounce your guys' names, so I'm really sorry. What's up, everyone? Hey from Germany, Constantine. Man, she says he's from Uganda. Like, you guys are all over the place. This is awesome. Shazzer says, yes, please. Rodrigo just said, just came in to ask if I got Fly on the Minecraft server. Rodrigo, I can get you Fly on the Minecraft server. I just started playing again just for like a little bit because it's so much fun. I play it just because it's like I can build whatever the heck I want. It's very creative. But Jack said, yes, I'd love that preset. Ryan said you could use the healing tool to get rid of the edgy shadows on the top leg. Yeah, you totally could, Ryan, and I could show you something real quick. So let's looking at like this stuff. If you don't like the edgy stuff, you can really come in here into your picture, and Lightroom has this spot removal tool. It's very similar to the healing tool in whatever it's called, Photoshop. And all you do is like you click an area and you can start to remove stuff and get it like kind of like the clone tool. But where is the healing brush tool? Here we go. So if you click the brush, we just had it. Here it is, heal, on the heal area. So you can just kind of click and drag around, and that will start to get rid of our stuff that we want to. So if I wanted to go like this, click and drag. See, it doesn't work all the time. So this is why I don't typically use this quite often, just because I've never got it to work. But this is definitely a technique that you could use to embellish your photo if you wanted to. So thank you. No problem, everyone. There's 63 people in here, so if you guys have inspiration from any other editors or photographers and Instagrammers, like send those in the chat right now or in the comments when this video goes live, so then I can check them out on the next live stream, because ultimately we're trying to learn from everyone else, and I think this is the best way to learn. But keep in mind, like, I don't want you to directly copy someone. Like, the moral of the story is to understand how they do it and then take that to your pictures and say, how can I make this better? So for me, I would just play around with some different stuff in your image. Where is my mouse? There it is. in your image. So we can go down to the tone curve and create like a simple S-spline curve, make some points, drag our shadows down a tiny bit, and then our highlights up. So right away, that's starting to give us a more saturated look. So I'm going to come up here and decrease the vibrance, since I think vibrance will change my blues a little bit more. And let's see our saturation down a little bit. So, and then I'm going to come down here to the HSL tab, and I'm going to change this blue to, let's see, I like this color. And we can also play around with the saturation to make this more vibrant. So that looks good. What if we want to change it to a deeper blue? Good, so that looks good. Great, so hopefully you guys learned something today. I'm gonna stick around for a little bit more and see what you guys said. So when is the next live stream? Shazzer, I typically do these live streams on a very sporadic basis because I'm trying to figure out what's gonna work for you. And this honestly was the first live stream where I show a tutorial in the stream. Because typically I make a tutorial and it's like, I cut it down to 7 minutes so it's not long, but I feel like stuff like this we all can learn easier from, because you're seeing everyone do it just like that. Like if you have questions right away, I can answer them. That's why I really enjoy these live stream stuff, and it gives me freedom because I can move around, so I really like it. But I will definitely keep doing these as much as possible because, one, they're easy. I just have to move this monitor around and set it up and click that button, and then I'm instantly connected to you. So make sure you turn on the bell notifications. If everyone right now could hit that like button, that would be awesome because it would help me out so much. But let's see what you guys said. One said Johnny Edland. All right, I'm gonna copy that. So again, if you guys have any requests that you want me to check out, just let me know, and I'm gonna copy those onto a Google Doc up here. So we have Johnny Edlin. Let's see what else we have. We have Mike Visuals and Matt Como. Let's copy those guys. I ran into Matt in California. Really chill dude. They were awesome. I definitely want to collab with them in the future. So we said Brandon Woelfel. I knew that one was coming because Brandon is like an insane editor. He's really awesome. He has these like really nice tones in his blues and magentas, and it's like almost like an overlay. So definitely something like that, because how awesome would it be if I created the ultimate Instagram LUT pack or preset pack that you could literally, it would just say their name, Matt Como, Brandon Woelfel, and you click it and it gets a basis to your image. Like it starts making it look right away like them. So I think that's something I'm going to work on. Maybe like a free and a paid version, because that might take some time. And from that, like how cool would that be? Like I want you to understand that most people think presets and LUTs just happen like that. You can apply it right to your image, but that's not the case. Like sure, you can apply it to your image, but it's going to require a little bit of manipulation on your end. So ultimately, you have to play around with the image once it's done. Because for example, this preset that I just created for Nolan's images is that if you click it onto your image, watch what happens. We have to go into the gradient area and change this stuff around. So the cool thing is I can manipulate this and I can move these around as much as I need to. For example, if I wanted it to be on the left hand side, a little bit more left heavy, and if I wanted these shadows to be a little bit more on the right side, you will have the ability to change this around to get that different look. But right now, as you can see, this doesn't match the lines on the body, and that's why we want to bring this up like this. You could also go straight on and do something like this, or go straight on right here. You aren't limited to just what is being created. So for example, this is why this is awesome. And this is why presets are very unique, because if you look at this image on the left is the image we started editing with, and then we got to this image right here. But I want you to think about this real quick. If you take a picture and like this image on the left, and it doesn't look the way this image does, then it's going to be hard to do this preset. You can't just click and drag it. For example, if I go back to the point where I cropped it on this image, and then say you took this image and your image looked like that when you took it. For example, if you just apply that preset, it might not work the best, you know? So you're gonna have to change your tints around and everything, and that's why it's best to understand how this stuff works. So let's continue reading on some of your comments and see what's going on. Make an intro like Abraham Lincoln suspense movie. I'll definitely check into that to run. Thank you for sharing. All right, let's see what else we got. Read some more comments. Yoon Olsen. Yoon Olsen is awesome. He makes some of the coolest vlogs out there. Really, really cool dude. Let's see. Hello there. 2:40 a.m. in my country. That is another thing. It's currently 2:40 p.m. in America right now, where I'm at, and it's kind of. Let me go back to this image. There we go. It's kind of hard to pick a live stream time for everyone else, but I think like anywhere from like 12 to 1 my time is probably the best because that's when I have the most viewers. But if you want me to stream another time, just let me know. It's just really hard to be perfect for everyone because I have people from all over the country. So let's see. We have Sam Coulter. I'll add him to the list. And cool. So to end today's stream, I know this was a quick one. I want to ask you guys a question of what do you want me to stream next? Because I know I've asked you the question of who you want me to do tutorials on, but if you liked this style of editing or this style of tutorials compared to my other really highly edited professional tutorials, let me know because I like this. I love communicating with you, and if I can like have a conversation, then I know what you want. Because other than that, it's just me trying to be like, all right, hey guys, and welcome to another Tutorial Tuesday. I'm forcing information to you, but this way you're giving me information and I can give you whatever the heck you want. So that's the goal here. Let's change this camera view because I have enough of my face. And yeah, let's read some more of the chat. Let's see. You forgot to change the view back to the monitor. Yep, I am sorry about that. I just changed that back. Let's see. So we have Sam Coulter. We have Chelsea Kawai, maybe? I totally butchered that. Gonna copy her name down. Andrew Edwards said, oh my god, hi mom. Zurich said, love your videos, Kyla. Keep it up, man. Help me a lot in my editing. That's the goal. We're all just creatives trying to help each other and understand how other people edit and share that creativity. So let's see. Julian said, and by the way, your videos are very helpful. Really like the nice way you make your videos and interact with your subs. Thank you, Julian. It's kind of very hard to do that, but I'm trying to be more interactive as much as possible. Speaking of interaction, here's the plug. If you look, oh my gosh, I just spit everywhere. If you look down here on YouTube, let me drag this down here so you can see. Boom. So this is currently the live stream right now, but if you look down here on the YouTube, they have this join feature. If you select the join feature, you'll become a member of the channel and you'll get some exclusive perks. Like you'll get this little checkmark badge next to your name whenever you're chatting on live streams or commenting, stuff like that. You'll get emojis, and here is the stuff that I offer. One is the 20% off coupon code. So any digital product that I make from here, from my previous or the future, will be 20% off for life. Like you can get instantly 20% off. And then you'll also get a members only Discord server. This is what I'm typically on at all times when I'm on my computer. So you can quickly chat with me. If you have a question about anything, go for it. Speaking of questions, you can also get a personal number where you'll contact me directly. So that number will be linked to my phone. So if you want to call me up and chat for like a minute, you can do that, or you can text me and I'll be responsive as well. And you can also promote yourself in my description. So if you go down to my description, there's already some donors and members that you can look right there. If you want me to promote a link, you can do that as well. So definitely check that out if you want to help support the channel. But going through here, let's read the final questions. And oh my gosh, it's 4:40 a.m. Thanks for sharing. I am so sorry, guys. I'm trying to figure out the best. We have J.R. Ali. Some people call him Junior Ali, which is funny because I'm pretty sure it's J.R. And Kai Boat. So thank you, Guilherme from Brazil. What is going on? Awesome. So I think that was good. Bigger said it's free. Aaron said tutorial on how to balance and use a Steadicam. Definitely something I could do. I think it's really awesome because I've used Steadicams quite a bit in my day. Because it's like you can use them. Let me jump down here. How can I grab this without falling? Let me try this. Aha. So there's a little bit different from Steadicam to a gimbal, and this gimbal is the Moza Mini Me. I'm currently giving this away. Just check out the Moza Mini Me review video on my channel and you could win this. I'm probably going to be announcing the winner in about 1 week, so be sure to check that out and figure out how you can apply. But a Steadicam is really awesome because it's different than a gimbal. It doesn't use motors, so it's all handheld, but it's pretty easy to manipulate. Also, I just noticed watching the live stream that my camera's really saturated, so I'm gonna bump that down a tiny bit after the fact. But Steadicams are really easy to balance once you get the hang of it. You just have to really pay attention to your different axes on your Steadicam to know which way it's tilting and the weight on your camera. It's pretty easy. I can do it in about like 3 minutes now, so that's really awesome. Constantine said, Peter McKinnon. Thank you. I will add that to my list. And with that, I'm going to close today's stream. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I really enjoyed this aesthetic that we went with, and ultimately, we achieved our goal. And again, I will probably release this for a download if you want, because I know a couple people had this, so that'll be linked in the description once this video goes up. Probably, we'll see what's going on, or if I want to release it in a later version, just hit me up in the comments once this video goes up if you want this, and then I will make that happen. So overall, I'm really happy. Like we started from, we literally, that's not the picture, let's drag our preset on, Nolan Omura. We started from this image right here, and we got to that image, which ultimately was our goal, to copy the actual Nolan Omura ourselves. So again, this may be not his technique on how he edits, but I think it's pretty dang close, and we can say that we learned something new today. So again, thank you everyone for tuning in today. And as always, oh, I got Chris Howe. I'll add him real quick. Add Chris to the agenda. Got him. And Aaron said, thanks so much. You're always so helpful. But if you guys enjoyed today's video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new, consider subscribing, because I'll be making some more stuff in the future. And as always, I'll see you next time. Shit, I can't like close the YouTube now. I have to find where my live stream is, and here we go, stop streaming, and boom.